Going into the middle of the room, Claire twirled around as she soaked in the sight of their new workshop. "This is where we'll form our business," Claire thought to herself, picturing the bright future ahead of them. Though making equipment may not be as exciting as subjugating monsters inside the simulation, she still liked the idea of creating items that would help her fellow adventurers. Claire enjoyed the idea of someday her equipment being helpful for when they step back into the world above them. "How do we learn how to use all this equipment and make the items?" Hannah asked Darlena. Pulled from her thoughts, Claire looked at the robot, also curious. Neither of them had any training in this field, so it wasn't likely they could just watch a few videos to learn the process. "To help out adventurers, we've created multiple methods of learning a trade," Darlena started. "At Star and Moon, we understand that people have a variety of learning methods. Some may be able to learn from watching the videos and mimicking the methods or by reading text." The robot outlined some of the mediums for learning. "But one of the best ways is to have one-on-one teaching sessions." "We can have someone teaching us?" Claire asked in a startled tone. "How is that even possible? Aren't the other adventurers working on their own businesses?" She had an image of one of the adventurers being able to access their workshop and walking them through the process. "Though that may be something we try in the future. I'm actually talking about having you taught by someone who's far more experienced." Darlena smiled at their confusion. The robot then proceeded to walk over to a door on the side of the workshop close to the portal. Claire widened her eyes, not having noticed the door, though now seeing it, she was unsure where it led. Darlena opened the door and let in sunlight. "You can come in now," it said to someone outside. Judging by the way Darlena addressed the person, it sounded as though Darlena was familiar with the person. The sunlight was soon blocked out by a large outline. It wasn't until the door was closed that Claire noticed that it was a figure covered in scales. Staring at the head of the person, Claire realized that it appeared to be a humanoid dragon. Small horns protruded out of the head. A second later, she saw that the dragon was actually a woman. Aside from parts of her face, shoulder, and arms that were covered in scales, the rest of her figure looked like a human's body. Her figure left no questions about her gender. "Let me introduce you to Dragny, a Dragonian." Darlena introduced the female Dragonian. "She'll be in charge of your training. Just like your room, you'll be getting her service for no charge. Though after several months, you'll need to pay for her services. Currently, the guild is subsidizing your costs." The robot explained with a smile on its face. Dragny grinned at Darlena, saying, "I appreciate working with you guys. Not everyone can afford my services." "You say that even though you always have a long list of clients waiting to hire your services." Darlena replied back to the woman's comment. The Dragonian shrugged. "Even if I was busy, I'd still have taken you up on your contract. I'm not stupid enough to refuse your guild, considering I also receive support from you and your adventurers." Listening to the two casually talking, Claire felt like it was a fantastic thing. Even though it was a simulation, Star and Moon had created an environment that seemed hyper-realistic. Just listening to the way Dragny was talking, it felt like she was an actual person that had objectives outside of her interactions with them. Looking at the woman, Claire felt as though she had an interesting backstory. Claire was excited to learn from the Dragonian. Thinking back to what her parents would often talk about, this experience felt similar to being mentored by a successful businesswoman.